chances. David is 32 years old. In '88, he missed going to the Olympics by 1/100th of a second, a fraction of time that's lingered for 4 years. Sandra is 29. In '88, her Olympic dreams fell apart too. She made it to the games in '84, but really had no success. Through the years, they've been there to comfort each other in times of defeat and to celebrate the other's victories as if they were their own. But now time is running out for both of them. Two athletes, husband and wife, each just 10 hurdles away from the Olympics. Some high drama indeed involving the first family of hurdling in the United States. Sandra Farmer-Patrick, her husband David, trying to make the Olympic Games in the 400-meter hurdles. The women's event will be first. There's Sandra Farmer-Patrick. She grew up in Jamaica in near poverty. She came to the United States adopted by an aunt in Brooklyn. That aunt was a strict religious fundamentalist and didn't allow Sandra to wear shorts. She ran her first race at age 12 in a skirt and blouse because they were giving away free t-shirts, and has been one of the top hurdlers in the world ever since. She was very disappointed when disqualified at the Olympic trials in '88. But let's go back to yesterday in the semifinals, and Sandra Farmer-Patrick looked very good in her event. Husband looking on as Sandra got ready in her heat of the semifinals.
She always looks good because she always has the most interesting outfit on. Not too many races for Sandra Farmer-Patrick this year, and she needed the opening rounds, the qualifying rounds, to hone her technique. She was short on technique this year.
Do you think the support of her husband is important to her? We notice every race he is there to lend that support, that encouragement.
Well, what's very interesting is they are an amazing team, but they train in solitude. They go to the track together, but one sets up hurdles on one side of the track, the other sets up hurdles on the other sides of the other side of the track. But once they come to the meets, she benefits from his encouragement.
They train in Pflugerville, Texas, near Austin. And here you see Sandra Farmer-Patrick running easily, clearing the hurdles with ease, and basically just coasting to the finish line.
Well, when you think back to 4 years ago, when she accidentally ran out of her lane because of a miscommunication as to a late lane change and then was disqualified in the semifinals, this was obviously a more satisfying semifinal run 4 years later.
And it achieved a thumbs up from husband David, who would be next in his heat to the 400-meter hurdles, the men's competition. And here he was in action.
And his season has been a true mystery. This man has been ranked among the top 10 in the United States for the last 10 years. But early this season, he was having trouble running college-type times. Injuries over the last 2 weeks have really crippled him, and when he came to the opening round, he wasn't even sure he'd make it to the semifinals. Not only did he make it to this semifinal, he ran one of the fastest times in the world this year.
One of his best efforts ever, and you think back to the heartbreak of '88, he finished 4th at the Olympic trials, actually thought he had qualified for the Olympics and took a victory lap before learning that he would not be going to Seoul.
He learned of that disappointment when the official results went up on the scoreboard.
Patrick thinks 48.6 will make the team this year, and he said, I think I have that in me. Looked like it in this semifinal yesterday.
Well, he ran 48.2 yesterday, so he knows he can do it. Can he do it when it counts?
Hoping to relive this triumph at the 1989 World Cup in, ironically, Barcelona.
David won his championship, and the next day when Sandra won hers, they took a victory lap together, one of the most popular victories, double victories, at the World Cup in '89.
And there is Sandra Farmer-Patrick, the fashion plate as always. Hard to believe that early in her career she was not allowed to even wear shorts, and now everyone always anxious to see what sort of outfit she'll come out in.
Well, you have to remember she runs for Flojo International. 4 years ago, it was Flojo who rocked the track and field world with her running and her uniforms. Now Sandra is doing the same.
And David in place to watch his wife compete, and then later to take the track himself. He'll be in the final on the men's side.
He likes this. He feels that when she runs well, he runs well.
Also in the final, Kim Batten, who upset Sandra Farmer-Patrick to win the U.S. Championship in 1991, went on to finish 5th at the World Championships.
Interestingly enough, she trains in Tallahassee, Florida. When I spoke with her earlier in the week, she said, the heat, no problem, I'm used to this. But after yesterday's semifinal, she said the heat was bothering her.
Janeene Vickers started running as a 5-year-old in Los Angeles. 3-time NCAA champion, and beat Sandra Farmer-Patrick for the 1990 U.S. Championship. Here are the lane assignments. Vickers in 4, Batten in 5, Farmer-Patrick in 6. And irony of ironies, Schowonda Williams is in 7. It was her lane that Farmer-Patrick ran in 1988 when Farmer-Patrick was disqualified. Right next door again.
And the lanes will be very important here as Janeene Vickers is in 4th. She said that's exactly where she wanted to be. She likes to see the runners up ahead of her. In a way, she has the most advantageous position. Sandra Farmer-Patrick in lane 6 only has Williams ahead of her, who's going to be likely to challenge her.
10 hurdles, 30 inches high, 45 meters to the first hurdle, then 35 between them until they get to the last. It's 40 meters from the last hurdle to the finish. Top 3 to Barcelona. And the race underway as they approach that first hurdle. The first of 10. Sandra Farmer-Patrick getting out very well. So is Kim Batten.
And Schowonda Williams outside of Sandra Farmer-Patrick is also running very fast. That will help Sandra Farmer-Patrick as they go down this backstretch.
And Tonja Buford, the junior at the University of Illinois, running well in the orange uniform on the inside.
Remember, she's from Dayton, Ohio, the same hometown as Edwin Moses.
Sandra Farmer-Patrick, Schowonda Williams. In lane 5, here comes Kim Batten in the purple uniform as they approach the top of the home stretch. 3 hurdles to go. Sandra Farmer-Patrick is in front. Sandra Farmer-Patrick with Kim Batten. Also Buford trying to make up ground. But it is Sandra Farmer-Patrick over the last hurdle, well in front. Kim Batten is there. Here comes Janeene Vickers and Tonja Buford. Coming for the finish, Buford gets second. It looked like Vickers might have taken 3rd, with Batten finishing 4th.
53.63, an outstanding time for Sandra Farmer-Patrick. An Olympic trials record and the fastest time in the world this year.
David Patrick has had the standard set by his wife, and he will try to duplicate her effort in his event. What a performance by Sandra Farmer-Patrick.
You know, you mentioned that last hurdle is only 30 inches high. It looks like it's about 5 feet high when you come up to it when it's the 10th hurdle. When you're so tired after sprinting 400 meters, she had a little trouble with that hurdle, but she was able to clear it and move on. As they came around the turn, it seemed like number 2 on the right of the screen, Kim Batten, was going to challenge Sandra Farmer-Patrick down the home stretch. Sandra Farmer-Patrick is always strong in the home stretch. That wasn't until last year at the World Championships when she had some physical problems. But here, she powers away from the rest of the field, having to stutter step at the last hurdle, takes it cleanly, and then it's a race for the other places.
And it's interesting that Janeene Vickers, who often has trouble on the last hurdle, had a strong finish to perhaps qualify for Barcelona here. You see David Patrick applauding the effort of his wife, who is on her way to Barcelona with an exclamation point.
And let's clear up those remaining places. Sandra Farmer-Patrick stutter steps and then goes on to victory. Behind her, it's Batten who ties up, and then it's Vickers and Buford who moves by. Buford, the NCAA champion, finishes 2nd. And Vickers gets 3rd.
So there are your qualifiers unofficially for Barcelona. Sandra Farmer-Patrick, impressive winner, with Buford and Vickers also qualifying for the Olympics. We'll be back. Farmer-Patrick, winner of the women's 400-meter hurdles in the fastest time of the year to date. In that 400-meter race for the women, here are the official results. Sandra Farmer-Patrick, 53.62. Buford 2nd and Vickers 3rd.
Outstanding time for Sandra Farmer-Patrick, especially when you consider she has not run very many races this year.
So now we move to the men's final in the 400-meter hurdles. The great Edwin Moses, the world and American record holder in this event. And Sandra Farmer-Patrick's husband, David Patrick, will take the track in this one. Remember, the 32-year-old who celebrated his birthday just 9 days ago, University of Tennessee graduate, missed by 1/100th of a second of making the team in 1988.
What I can't believe is he says that he likes the pressure of running after Sandra does. Seems to me all the nervous energy he would have expended during her race will hurt him now.
Kevin Young has the 3 fastest times in the world this year, the youngest of 6 kids who grew up in the Watts section of Los Angeles. His mom is still there, very worried about her in the recent riots, but she came through unscathed.
He has to know that he's the favorite in this race, and he and Samuel Matete from Zambia will be the 2 favorites at the Olympic Games. So he's going to try a high-risk strategy. He wants to carry 13 strides between the hurdles all the way around the track. Only Edwin Moses has done that.
And Derrick Adkins, who just finished his eligibility at Georgia Tech, he fell at the 8th hurdle while leading at the NCAA championships and wound up 8th.
And what a week he's had. He tore ligaments in his left ankle on Monday night, was in a whirlpool the next 2 or 3 days. Now he's in the final of the Olympic trials.
Here are the lane assignments for the final in the 400-meter hurdles.
Keep your eye also on lane 5, Nat Page. Back in 1980, he made the Olympic team in the high jump. He was a 7'6" high jumper, converted to the intermediate hurdles. Now he has a chance to go to Barcelona. He never went to Moscow.
David Patrick trying to duplicate his wife's effort and get that joint ticket to Barcelona.
Remember, he's been battling a strained hamstring over the last couple of weeks. He, like his wife, has not raced very much at the Bruce Jenner Classic in late May. He ran a 52-second race. Yesterday, he ran a 48-second race.
David Patrick in lane 4. Off to a good start as they approach the first of 10 36-inch high hurdles.
David Patrick has Nat Page just ahead of him. Page tends to go out quickly, which should help draw David Patrick down this backstretch.
Derrick Adkins, the Georgia Tech youngster, running very well, and Kevin Young also blazing down the backstretch as they reach the turn for home. David Patrick trying to pull out more now as they approach the home stretch and the 8th of 10 hurdles.
Patrick in a little bit of trouble right now as Kevin Young is running away from the rest of the field, but now Patrick is making his move.
Kevin Young in front. Here comes David Patrick in a second. McClinton Neal on the inside. It's Kevin Young. Here comes David Patrick running hard. He'll qualify for Barcelona.
Tremendous race for the top 3 as McClinton Neal qualifies for the Olympic team in lane 1. Remember, David Patrick was in lane 1 back in the 1988 trials and just missed. McClinton Neal overcomes the adversity of that tight lane 1 and makes the team.
David Patrick, 32 years old. His wife, Sandra Farmer-Patrick, 29 years old, facing their final chance of making an American Olympic team, have come through big time in New Orleans.
And you could also almost see the inspiration when he came to the last 3 hurdles. He was in a little bit of trouble around the last turn.
He really did put on a closing burst. He had to have flashes of 1988 in his mind. He had plenty more when he reached down. He asked for it, and here he comes as they reach the top of the home stretch. And David Patrick with a great finish.
You can see Kevin Young on the left of the screen. He was in control of this race. David Patrick was close enough so that he knew he could take a safe hurdle as he came to the last hurdle, went over that with good form, and then sprinted very well. He wanted to win this race. Making the team wasn't enough for him at this point. Young ran 47.91, the fastest time in the world.
This was Sandra Farmer-Patrick as she cheered on that closing burst by her husband. That had to be worth some fractions of a second. It had to help as as they cheered each other on to qualifying spots for Barcelona. And again, Kevin Young, impressive. One of the world's best, and again showing his form. David Pratchett coming on, and McClinton Neal down in lane 1 coming on here also in the home stretch to qualify for the Olympic team. Final time 47.89. Todd Christensen down on the track with an ecstatic couple.
Well, you're exactly right. Down on the track is appropriate here, and Sister Sledge is going to be reconsidered here. I'm stealing this from the Pittsburgh Pirates, but it is a family affair. Sandra, come on over here. Sandra, let your husband rest a little bit. You were very impressive down the stretch. 53.63, fastest time in the world.
Yes, basically I just concentrate on hurdling properly. I wasn't worried about the time. I just wanted to be in the top 3.
Come on. You need to walk. Walk. Here we get a chance. Here we got the winner, Kevin Young, and David. David, you must feel tremendous down the stretch. Olympics, you're going to Barcelona.
Yeah, I'm trying. This is my second time. Right. Third time trying this. And I was a little nervous. And I had a bad season all season. And I just thank God and support of my wife and family that was able to come together.
Thank you for having McKennie.
Does this make up for the disappointment of '88?
Yes, it does. Very much so.
Congratulations to you. We have a winner with us, Kevin Young. Congratulations to you, Kevin, down the stretch, under 48. You and Matete coming up in Barcelona.
Yeah, I've been running well all this year, early on this season. I'm pretty happy about my times. Today, basically, I just want to take it easy and get in there. I really didn't mind taking second and third, but first is always sweet. And I just like to say, I wish this all the fathers out there on this Sunday. Mr. Champion, happy Father's Day, and Mr. Young. And my sister Carla, I love you, baby. And all my people's out there, you too, Ed. And my Father's to you. All right.
Okay, happy Father's Day to you, Mr. Young. Your son's #1 going to Barcelona.
That's right.